Two big pieces of immigration news, and I get it. It's like every day we're doing immigration news in this country, but it's important, and I'll tell you why. So today the Trump administration said, if you travel to America to apply for asylum and you don't apply for asylum in Mexico, you can't apply for asylum here in the U.S. Few problems there. First, the agreements about this are usually made between two countries. In this case, you would expect the agreement to be made between the United States, of course, and Mexico. Mexico is not a part of this agreement. Second problem, Mexico is dangerous. A lot of cities in Mexico, our own State Department asks Americans not to travel to. So if you're a migrant and you're coming here for a better, safer life, you're now being told to wait in Mexico. We have heard reports of people being kidnapped, of all sorts of crimes taking place. So it's becoming a major problem. The other big piece of news are these ICE raids that everybody is talking about. Now let's put this into perspective for a minute. Every year, ICE detains around 150,000 people. They send some 250,000 people back to their countries of origin, deporting them, putting them on planes, a lot of them unmarked by an airline that is run by ICE. We had been told by President Trump that there would be massive raids that were going to start yesterday on Sunday. There was really no signs that any raids took place. We heard from the mayor of New York City. He said a couple of spots, a few neighborhoods, there were some raids, that they were pushed back. A lot of that is because immigration attorneys are advising people not to let ICE in. We don't really know if there have been major raids. The president will likely say that there were major raids. It's really difficult to tell, again, because every day ICE is doing this in this country. All of this, these two stories are to say that the way that the President of the United States is presenting immigration policy to the United States and the rest of the world is with a very clear voice. He believes, and this administration believes, in the policy of deterrence. That is, people should no longer be coming to the U.S. and applying for asylum.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.